We have breaking news out of Mississippi. Deep red state, Mississippi. Democrats just flipped 2 state Senate seats, ending the Republican supermajority for the first time in years. This should be the headline right now. These wins came after a federal court ordered new maps to give black voters fair representation. So now do you see what happens when we say stop playing with us and we mean it? From deep red Mississippi, voters stood up, spoke out, and shifted power. Mississippi and all the Democratic wins last night should remind us that the power of our vote is not dead. Change is possible anywhere. Congratulations to Mississippi.
I don't think they could have picked a better time to not pay federal workers and hold SNAP hostage. Imagine being such a bad president, you make Mississippi de-gerrymander itself and flip blue. That is the news that Donald Trump and the rest of America is waking up to this morning. It comes after key elections across the nation like the New York mayor race, the California redistricting vote, where they would counter Texas's very red gerrymandering with some very blue gerrymandering, and the Virginia governors and attorney general races. The Democrats, quite frankly, mopped the floor with the Republicans in all of these elections. These wins are important to keep track of. A lot of people felt as though this presidency was not something we could vote our way out of. A lot of people don't give the average American enough credit in thinking that these pseudo issues held up by billionaires would continue to outweigh the real day-to-day, dollar-for-dollar issues everyday voters deal with in their real lives. It's a shame it had to really start affecting lives for some people to get here, but a win is a win, and this is definitely a success.
In Mississippi, yes, Mississippi, Democrats flipped 3 state legislative seats, breaking Republican supermajority in the state. In Georgia, Democrats flipped 2 statewide seats on Georgia's influential Public Service Commission. Basically, everywhere you look across the country, Democrats won last night. Even in hyper local races, Democrats flipped Republican-controlled seats at the city and county level in Pennsylvania and Connecticut and New York. Democrats even had the added satisfaction of beating J.D. Vance's half-brother in the race for mayor of Cincinnati, and they beat him by a lot. So, yeah, it was one of the best nights Democrats have had in a very, very long time. Which kind of begs the question. You're a member of Donald Trump's Republican Party. How do you spin what everyone knows was an absolute thumping of your party? Well, they took different approaches. Little Mike Johnson went with the kind of the denial approach.
There's no surprises. What happened last night was blue states and blue cities voted blue. We all saw that coming. And no one should read too much into last night's election results. Off-year elections are not indicative of what's to come. I don't think the loss last night was any reflection about Republicans at all.
Okay. I mean, Johnson says that this was just blue states voting blue. Never mind the fact that Democrats won in the Republican-controlled state of Virginia, or that these victories stretch deep into red states and small towns pretty much everywhere. So denial is certainly one way to cope with such a devastating loss, I guess.
Holy shit. The winning is not stopping yet. We have now flipped seats in Mississippi. We have flipped seats in Pennsylvania. A lot of these are deep red seats. We've not won in 20, 30 years. Unseating Republican incumbents have been in office forever. The day cannot be any better for Democrats right now, all around the country. Let's keep it going. Leave a blue heart below.
Do you know how fed up Republicans in Mississippi have to be in order to vote blue? They flipped their historically deep red Republican seats blue.
Look at God. My God today. Mississippi just broke the supermajority. Oh, this is amazing. We were on my live earlier tonight wondering about Mississippi, and we were just waiting for the information to come out, and I did not know if other people flipped. Oh, my goodness. Brother Reginald retained his Senate seat, as well as Uncle Johnny Dupree. Oh, this is a good night. It is. I know that big baby crying tonight.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My good name is Gracie D. I hope you all are doing amazing. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I really do appreciate your love and support on this channel. So I'm sure you all seen what happened on November 4th, 2025 in Mississippi. Deep red Mississippi, the heart of Republican South. Democrats just flipped 2 Senate seats and broke the GOP's supermajority. And Maga are not happy about it. The tables are turning and the panic in Republican circle is real right now. Because for over 13 years, Republicans have held the total grip of Mississippi Senate. They could pass laws, They could pass what they wanted, override any veto, and act like state government was their private club. But now the control just cracked. And it's all thanks to black voters and federal courts forcing the states to redraw districts that finally reflect the real representation, not the old maps that diluted black voices for decades. So I want us to watch some of these few videos that I've gathered for you guys. Every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on this episode, credit belongs to the original creators of these videos that you're seeing on your screens. I'd really love to hear what your thoughts or what your take is on these, especially if you're a Republican watching these. Let me know what you're thinking about this. If you're from Mississippi deep south, let me know who you voted for. So let's just dive right ahead and we'll be back with more commentary.
We have another election update, this time in deep red Mississippi, where Democrats were able to flip 2 Senate seats from Republicans, stealing the supermajority from them. This is significant. Mississippi is called a deep red state for a reason. They have been Republican for a very, very long time, and it was said that this race was going to be a Republican win. However, they just flipped 2 key seats in Senate, stealing the majority from them. This is significant, flipping it from red to blue. Congratulations to Democrats. This is another major win. And this is one of the closest races that was being watched. This race, people were watching hard, and they were saying, Republicans were saying that they're not going to be able to flip this state. Like, this was one of the ones that they were confident about. They were wrong.
We have another major election update, this time from deep red Mississippi, where Democrats just flipped 2 Senate seats, 2 legislative seats, breaking the Republican supermajority in deep red Mississippi. Another stunner.
Guys, I haven't seen this much Hope Corps on my FYP in over a year. This is huge news out of Mississippi, as he says, deep red Mississippi. And you know what made it possible is the fact that a court-ordered redistricting allowed more representation of black voters, because what this country, and especially the Republicans, have done is they have disenfranchised people of color at exponential rates. It is absolutely amazing. We saw it in Texas as they're redrawing the districts, gerrymandering people out of their votes, out of existence. They're not even going to have a say anymore. So Mississippi did that, and now all of a sudden they no longer have the supermajority because the people of Mississippi actually got a say. They actually got a fair shake at something, and look what happened. It's not so deep red after all. It's not that ruby red. It's still super red, don't get me wrong, but it ain't that red because we actually gave people the chance to vote. We did not disenfranchise black voters, brown voters, anybody like that actually got a say in the states they live and work in. This is what needs to happen all across America.
I thought black people only voted for black people. I thought we only voted for someone based on their color. I thought we only voted based on identity politics. That's strange. I guess we don't.
Not to be a total leftist QAnoner, but after the massive blue wave last night, do we think that Elon actually did rig the election last time? And now that they've broken up, he took his little machines with him or whatever? Because it definitely seems like we, the people, did not vote for that last time. Like, I'm here in Georgia, and we went fully out for our public commissioner. So, I don't know. Just seems suspicious. Oh, I hate that, like, we're not allowed to be suspicious because of all of the other conspiracies out there. But I don't know. The stars just seem to align in that way.
I wanted to wait until every single ballot was counted.
So, win some, lost. Abigail carried.
Because I know that God had called me for this purpose.
God has absolutely nothing to do with this. I think your loss can be attributed to a few things. Maybe that you have some very backwards policy. Maybe you are a person of color who is literally working with the oppressor to oppress more people. And you have pushed discriminatory practices. You also went on television and said that Barack Obama should have endorsed you because you're black. Sorry, all skin folk are not kinfolk, and let's be very clear, just because you are black does not mean you earn an endorsement from the only black president.
So we understand that victory to the Lord looks a lot different than what we think of as victory.
No, a loss is a loss. You just have to accept that because there was no victory in this. There is no different victory for you. And I am so disappointed in you, Winsome. I would think that as a black woman, some of the things you said on the campaign trail, especially about marriage equality, would not be things that you would say. Because if it wasn't for the progress of the people in this country, your marriage would not even be recognized by the United States. But great job, Virginia. Congratulations, Abigail. You are the winner, and keep standing on their necks.
Wow, that was a blue wave, right? But that was just a wave. The tidal wave is coming in 12 months. But it was good to see Democrats won. Yeah, they won everything. Yeah. Blue won everything. And what does that tell you? What does that, I mean, people are just tired. People don't want to hear craziness every single day. People would like some normalcy. And Republicans are anything but. And they've proven they can't run the government because they can't even keep it open. Yeah, literally they have one job, and that is to make things better for the American people. They can't get to that because they can't even keep the government open. If you can't keep the government open, I mean, that's your job. Your job is to be at work and be at work for the people, but you're not even there. Republicans aren't even at work. So you're not at work, you're not doing your job. Why would anyone vote for you? For any reason, why?
So guys, that is what happened on 4th November 2025. People woke up to great news, and people were not happy, just maybe Republicans that, don't support fairness. And that is what Republicans fear most. Fair maps and black voters turn out. When the game isn't rigged, when districts aren't gerrymandered to keep certain people silent, suddenly red states don't look so red anymore, just like what is happening right now. I know people will be like, it's just 2 Democratic wins. That might not sound like much, but the catch is those 2 seats ended a Republican supermajority. That means Republicans can't just streamline their way through legislation anymore. They cannot override the governor without Democratic cooperation. They cannot pretend the opposition doesn't exist like they've been doing for decades. And that's power shifting, even in Mississippi and other states, as you saw what happened on the 4th of November 2025. Republicans build their brand on the idea that South will always belong to them. But what we see from Mississippi to Georgia to North Carolina is that people are tired. People are tired of being ignored, tired of policies that only serve the rich while blaming everyone else, tired of being told their votes don't matter. Well, this time it seems like they mattered, and that's why you all should be getting out there to vote, because your votes actually do count. Don't just sit there and say they already, chosen their leaders. This has already been done. Your vote matters, and that's why you should all be out there voting for the leaders that will actually make a change, for leaders that actually do care for you, that have the best interest at heart for each and every other American citizen. It doesn't matter of their skin color, it doesn't matter of their political party, as long as they have the best interest at heart for each and every other American citizen, as long as they are human enough to treat each and every other person equally. Because, people have been claiming black people only vote for black leaders and all that, but that was not the case. And now people are not talking about about this because you all been calling out black people saying, oh, you only vote for black leaders. Then why did they leave that black woman? Why did they not vote for that black woman? Because they only vote for someone who has the best interest for them and each and every other American citizen. Just like black Americans have been fighting for civil rights, but fighting for everyone else in the United States of America, that's the exact way that they actually cast their votes. And now this is the only evidence that you all want. There is no going out there anymore and calling out black Americans, telling them you only vote according to your skin color and you're so racist and all that, because you've seen what happened. And now you can actually tell that black people vote for a leader that has the best interest for each and every other American citizen and any other person residing or living in the United States of America. What just happened is what happens when people organize. When maps get fixed, when the truth comes out, it's not blue wave yet, but it's a wake-up call. Even in a state where GOP thought it was untouchable, change is creeping in, and that's why so many people are worried. That's why so many people are emotionally breaking down out. You've seen even what happened in New York State, and some people are not happy to a point that they cannot actually even hide it. They're coming even on live television saying that that is not right. You know, whatever happened in New York State, the win of Zoran Mandar, the newest New York mayor that there is in the United States of America. And you've seen so many Republicans are not happy about this. And what just happened in Mississippi, so many of them are not happy. You know, Republicans can keep talking about America first and saving the South, but Mississippi just reminded them that black votes still matters. Fairness still matters. And the tide is coming. And the tide is coming even when they least expect it. Truth is actually unfolding right now. And America is actually, I think, and I have a feeling that if people actually open their eyes, open their minds, and vote and reason without thinking about someone's color, someone's background, just thinking and voting with the best interest at heart for each and every other person in the United States of America, then it's gonna turn to a great country that you all keep talking about. But if you go out there and vote because of your skin color or policies that only save you or favor you, then the country will keep on collapsing little by little. Whatever just happened in Mississippi can happen in any other red state. They can decide to vote for a leader that has the best interest at heart for them. You wonder why Republicans are scrambling just because of 2 Senate seats? It's time for you to know that this isn't just about 2 Senate seats. It's about momentum. They have been building their whole political empire on the lie that red states are unshakable. But with what we are seeing right now, from Georgia turning blue in 2020, to black women leading coalitions across the South, to Mississippi breaking the GOP's control, that is the Republican foundational cracking. And they know it, and this is why you're seeing them emotionally breaking down. This is why you're seeing some leaders coming out, even calling out what happened in New York City. The same people who said America is tired of the left are now realizing it's their base that's tired of empty promises, tired of cultures of wars, tired of politicians who only show up to talk about drag queens but can't fix schools, jobs, or healthcare. Meanwhile, Democrats just proved something major. Even in the South, if you fight smart, organize locally, and empower the right voices, you can win. And there is a part that Republicans don't really like talking or discussing about. And the part is that Mississippi's population is nearly 40% black, the highest in the nation. Yet for decades, that representation barely showed up in their government because of the way maps were drawn. And this win does not just symbolize Democrats gaining power, but black political power finally being recognized. This moment isn't about Democrats versus Republicans. It's about people versus a system that's tried to lock them out for generations. It's about what happens when fairness enters the room. And I got a question for Republicans. If Mississippi can shift, do you think Republican stronghold is truly safe anymore? I'd really love you all to tell me what you think about this on the comment section, especially Republicans, because You can keep yelling about Make America Great Again, but Mississippi has just reminded you something. You can't make America great if you're still trying to make voting unfair. You can't call it freedom if you're scared of competition. And you cannot preach democracy while you gerrymander it to death. So, shout out Mississippi, to the voters who showed up, to the organizers who worked behind the scenes, to the courts that stood up for justice, and to everyone proving that the South is not lost. It's evolving. I'd really love you to tell me what you think about these on the comment section. As I said, my good name is Gracie D. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. Drop a comment if you think this is the start of something bigger and that is about to make America the great country that people always talk about. Thank you so much for watching up to this part, and until the next episode, bye.